Welcome to Chronicle Destiny Dev Diary 0. Let it begin. This is the first dev diary for the game I'm developing, Chronicle Destiny, and so let's talk about the concept. What is Chronicle Destiny? Chronicle Destiny is an adventure action game in which the player navigates through the story in real time. From the moment the player takes control, the story can branch into different outcomes. The game will not wait for the player to make a decision, and the NPCs will react to that indecisiveness and may force an outcome. I'll get into that a bit later. And some of the key features are the short story gameplay, new fantasy, branching stories, and real-time dialogue. And I'll get to those in a little bit too. Okay, the main genres will be an adventure action game. And yeah, those are Getty Images. Okay, the targeted platforms will be web, mobile, tablet, PC, and maybe console in the future. I don't know. But the main focus is on Microsoft platforms, and as of this video, Windows 10 has been released recently, and yeah, I'll target that one as well. And something to note about the web platform is that it will be a kind of like a trial demo of the game. Will be available on the web and not the complete game, and actually I'll get into that a little bit. And yeah, basically, and actually right now there is the alpha version up in the web, which yeah, I'll get to that in a bit as well. The target audience will be teen to adults, more Getty Images. And the tools I'm using to build this game, right now I'm using a Surface Pro 3, which allows me to develop for the PC platform, for tablets, and if I plug in an Xbox One controller, I get basically for console. And for the cell phone, which is actually the main target, is on the Lumia 635, and that's what I'm using to test it out. I'm using, for my tools, I'm using Game Maker Studio to actually build the game. For the art, I'm using Blender and GIMP. And actually, I'm not a sound person, so yeah, I put Audacity because at the very least, that's the only program I know how to use sound wise. Maybe I'll use more, but sound is not my strong suit. But those are my tools that I'm using right now. Reference games. A lot of Mega Man, but okay. Mega Man 0 and Mega Man Legends is mostly for stylistic choice. Especially more Mega Man 0 because for me, well, at the very least for me, it kind of gives me a kind of like a hand-drawn style. I really like how it looks, especially if you look at the mug shots of the first Mega Man 0. I can really see pencil lines on the artwork. I also like Mega Man Legends style too. Very cartoon even though it's a very low poly game. And actually I believe this was before the prevalent use of programmable shaders, and for them to achieve a toon look is pretty impressive, I think. Before Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker and Jet Set, whatever, I forgot the name. Either way, main battle networks and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memory is more for gameplay. Especially I am aiming an isometric game, and it would be more action orientated like Chain of Memories, but I'm also checking out battle networks for how they handle isometric as well. And Majora's Mask is basically where the main gimmick of the game lies, that Everything is on a schedule. Majora's Mask is a 3-day schedule where every NPC will be at certain places at certain times and will be doing certain things. And yeah, I'll be checking that out. And okay, feature focus. The short story. Basically, the stories will be between 5 to 30 minutes, since I am aiming to be in a cell phone kind of gameplay. And actually, just little tangent, I guess. Chronicle Destiny is actually a spin-off of a game I haven't even started. I mean, I've been wanting to make a game for a long time, and I imagine a grand epic like the Elder Scrolls series. I really like the Elder Scrolls series, how they handle like created their own fantasy and everything. And the Legend of Zelda series and Grand Theft Auto, I like open worlds and stuff. But yeah, that's too grand for a new developer like me. So Chronicle Destiny is basically an extremely scaled down form factor of that, and basically just handling one key feature of that game I will probably do in the future. And basically it's the short stories. That like will take between 5 to 30 minutes. And right now there's already fleshed out 4 stories, and I have 2 more planned. And the 4 stories that I have right now will be available upon release, and actually on the web version, which is the free version, basically 1 story will be available, and actually it will be the story that will be the focus of this dev diary, because the spoilers, I guess. I mean, I can't handle. Yeah, as I'm developing it, I can't keep too many secrets, so there will be spoilers on the first story. And yeah, and 2 more will be done after release. I already have kind of an idea, but they're not fleshed out. I will flesh them out after release, and not right now. And I could make more stories available as DLC. And actually, like maybe further down the future, the other 3 stories may become available on the web version as the 2 additional ones and more stories get made, and those will be the ones that will get monetized. Yeah. Okay, the new fantasy. Like I said, I was working on an even bigger, grander game before, and so I created a brand new fantasy that it's not based on Tolkien's backyard, right? And I'm basically not humans, elves, dwarves, etc., orcs, gnomes, fairies, sprites, whatever. And it's also not an alternate Earth, right? That kind of like basically the Marvel and DC's worlds that basically they're like Earth, but in which the Avengers exist or Batman, whatever. But yeah, it's has its own lore, and actually I believe people may find parallels with Avatar, The Last Airbender, being that it is heavily element based, but it actually draws more inspiration from Golden Sun. And actually I should have put that on reference games, but that one's more thematic, more like it's not more on the gameplay or aesthetics. It's more of an inspirational game. Branching stories. Basically, the player's actions and decisions influence how the story unfolds. The first actions can branch the story, and NPCs will take the player's lack of response and react accordingly. So basically, like I said, the game won't stop for the player. The time won't stop. So if the player is not doing anything, everybody else will keep on doing something. But it's not like in Majora's Mask that basically just ignore the player. They will react that the player is not doing anything. Maybe they'll approach them and say, "Hey, what's your problem?" or something like that. But yeah, the player is part of will affect what the NPCs are doing, regardless of their action, what action that they take. Real-time dialogue. This is a really big important one and may make or break. It's the main gimmick of the game, actually. And the players can engage in dialogue at any time. Other actions won't be blocked while in dialogue. NPCs will react to interruptions, pauses, and dismissals in dialogue. NPCs can try to engage the player in dialogue, and players could try and ignore all dialogue. Basically, there will be a dedicated button on the controller for dialogue, being that normally when a player engages in dialogue with an NPC, the game state changes, and basically the controller input switches to a dialogue input, in which like the joystick no longer controls movement but menu selection, stuff like that. But one of the aims is for the player to still be able to move, still be able to attack and do everything else, and still be able to engage in dialogue. And one thing is that that's where the actions won't be interrupted. They started building it, but I'm at this point in time, interactions kind of other PCs going to abandon that code and start all over in the middle of talking. It wasn't too just structured, kind of, and the NPCs will react accordingly. And they can also take like comments, complaints, suggestions, or support. So if they pause, they take time. It actually has like a Facebook comment, generate their response. So the NPCs will respond accordingly. Like, why are you taking so long to respond? Yeah. Are you having any doubts or stuff like that?